This is the Kindie Rockstars podcast, Season 6. Bringing you incredibly talented singers, artists, creators, and producers in the genre of children's music. I'm your host, Patrick Adams. Each episode will feature songs, album features, or video features, and great stories from the artists themselves. Kindie Rockstars Season 6 is proud to be supported and sponsored by Waldmania Public Relations, serving the family entertainment community for over 20 years, and Debbie Derryberry Kids. Debbie Derryberry, one of Hollywood's most active and sought-after voiceover artists, is best known for voicing Jimmy Neutron in the Academy Award-nominated film Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius, and Draculaura in Monster High. A lifetime musician and songwriter, Debbie has written and recorded 4 award-winning preschool music albums. Her song Baby Banana hit #1 on Sirius XM Kid. Her song, written with Grammy-winning artist Lisa Loeb, called The Compost Bin, has won a Napa Award. Her latest album, Gotta Go Green, also a Napa winner, is all about giving kids tangible ways to save the earth through recycling, composting, reducing carbon footprint, and more. Her YouTube channel, Debbie Derryberry Kids, combines her love of cartoons and music with delightful animated videos of her songs. Children listen as well as watch, so a visual component is so important. Kindie Rockstars thanks you so much for your support, and now, on with the show. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Kindie Rockstars, and I have with me today Marty Long, but you may know her better in the Kindie world as Preschool Rockstar. Welcome to the show, Marty.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Well, Marty, you are a first-time guest, and I'm delighted to have you on. But let's hear your story. What got you into making music for kids?
Well, I've always been a musician. And when my own kids were younger, I really did not know that there was this kind of kindie scene out there. We had some, they might be giants and bare naked ladies, but I had no idea that all of this other wonderful music was out there. I took both of my boys to music together classes right from the very start. And as they got a little bit older, I decided that I wanted to teach those classes too. So I got trained in music together, but found myself wanting a little bit more freedom. So a job opened up at the Raleigh School, which is a little piece of heaven here on earth. It's a school here in Raleigh, North Carolina, that is a play-based preschool with tons of outdoor space, and just really it's a wonderful place. So I became their preschool music specialist about 8 years ago. So COVID hit, and I have a feeling that's probably a recurring theme in your
Yeah,
stories.
back in 2022, I think, when people were kind of getting back into it. Yeah, there were a lot of what did you do during COVID? How did you kind of keep going? And did you get more into making videos or Zoom or something like that? So yeah, there were
Mhm.
those people did what they had to do to kind of keep the momentum.
Right, exactly. And I was making weekly videos for my students, just like class kind of videos. Um, and a mom blogger that I used to work with came across a Facebook Live. My husband and I, Kevin and I, would go on like Saturday mornings on Facebook and do a live and invite all of my students and kids and to come on and just have something a little bit more than the YouTube class. And so my friend came across one of our lives and messaged me and said, "Hey, I'm doing this series of Facebook Lives for the Magical Bridge Foundation." She's out in Silicon Valley. "Would you like to come on and do a show for us?" I said, "Sure, that'd be awesome." So in the meantime, I was checking out what some of the other artists were doing, and I came across Val and Silly Goose. And in that moment, my trajectory changed. And I was like, who is this woman? She is incredible. How is she singing and doing Silly Goose and playing the piano at the same time? I mean, it was incredible. So I looked her up, and that's how I found Children's Music Network. And that's kind of when things began to really change. I had been writing songs for my students at the preschool, but just sort of casually, I've always, like I said, I've always been a musician. I have a Bachelor of Music in Music Composition. Um, and so I was just sort of writing these just little songs for kids. Um, and then I decided, hey, I'd really like to do something with this. This is going to be more than I expected. So we went back to school, pretty early in the pandemic, and I taught outside for a year in the cold and the hot and
Oh,
the
wow.
rain, everything. I had all of my music classes outside, which meant that when the lizard ran by, you either sang about the lizard or you lost your kids for a good 10 minutes. Or the garbage truck, we were right across from where the dumpsters were. When the garbage truck came, again, you either sang about it or you were done.
Immediate inspiration.
Exactly, exactly. So that's how it all got started. And the Raleigh school, actually sent me to the first CMN conference that I went to in Boston. And that's when I discovered how much recording and sharing and performing there was going on in the Kindie world. And again, was just hooked. And the connections, the community
Yeah.
is just amazing.
Yeah, CMN is great, and those conferences are wonderful. It blows you away, just the sheer amount of talent that's in our community, and
Hmm.
we need definitely more than one category at the Grammys. I'm
Absolutely.
behind that all the way. At least a best song or something.
Agreed.
All right, so the name Preschool Rockstar, did you come up with that, or did somebody anoint that onto you?
The classroom teachers at school sort of anointed that because I would walk through the playground or wherever the kids were, and it was Miss Long, Miss Long, and it's high fives, and you do, as the music teacher, become the superstar of those kids' world. So it's I I've played for many, many different kinds of audiences of all different sizes, and hands down, the 2 to 5 range is my favorite audience.
Yeah, yeah, they're gonna get up and react. My
Absolutely.
daughter is 5, and if there is a song on that involves dancing, she's
Hmm.
dancing, and that's she's been doing that for a little while now. So that's a wonderful age. So, all right, well, let's talk about your album. Now, do you have other albums out, or is this your debut?
This is the debut for Preschool Rockstar. I have done other recording, but nothing for kids.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, the album is called Tiny Humans, Big World. So tell us a little bit about the making of this album. How did it all come together? What stories do you have in making it?
Well, it has taken several years. My husband he is also a musician, and has a ridiculous love for recording equipment and recording engineering, and so I'm lucky enough to have the studio right here behind the house. So it took a long time, but I think that's probably because we didn't have that constraint of you really need to have everything tight and ready so that you can pay someone to do it.
Yeah.
When you don't have to do that, there's a lot more, well, let's start this song over. I don't like where that ended
Hmm.
up. So, so that's kind of how we worked for a little while, and then we decided, no, we need to nail this down. So last year we got really serious and started heading towards this goal of getting the album out. So he and I played most everything on the album. We did have a drummer, Mart Evans, and he is in England, and so he would send us the tracks that we needed for percussion and drums, and then Paul, Mr. Elephant, makes an appearance with his incredible bass line on Little Monsters' Bedtime. So those were all of our musicians, and I did bring in the kids from the school. Some of the Raleigh school kids came in and did their thing as well. And then we had Roger Gupton mix it. He has on the East Coast is very well known for his songwriting and guitar playing, and sent it to Chris Berner to master. And Chris Berner does all kinds of projects. He's had a Grammy nomination for the work he did with his Golden Messenger. And he's just an incredible engineer and a mastering guru. So I was incredibly pleased to have him pick that up and master it for us.
All right, well, let's get into some of our featured songs. And I think you just mentioned one of them, Little Monsters Bedtime. So talk about this one.
Okay. So Little Monsters Bedtime was one that I wrote during the pandemic. And it was super short and sweet. And in my head, I really wanted it to be sort of this 90s girl band like Breeders, Belly, Throwing Muses kind of vibe.
I love your influences.
Oh, my favorites.
I was fans of all of them.
Oh, I'm so glad. And it was just a short little song, and I made some puppets, and we put a little video up. And when we decided to put it on the album, I realized I wanted it to be a lot more than just that. So the concept is, what do the little monsters do at bedtime? You know, do they look for little human children hiding in their closets, or do they have the same sort of struggles at bedtime as kids do? And so we fleshed it out a little bit and got Paul to come in and do some bass, and we have Little Monsters Bedtime.
Very cool. And I really good rock sounds on all of these. I really dug them. There can't be enough guitar in Kindie music.
Yes.
I love it. I want to hear more of it because it's such a cool.
Yeah, well, I know, and all the Kindie artists are this way. Well, at least so many of them, that they are trying to make music that kids love, but that their parents also love.
Yeah.
So.
Same. I know. Yeah, and you know, we kind of get into conversations about the ones that are like omnipresent, like Baby Shark and others that just everybody in the world knows. And I know as a parent, while I think the song is super cute, about the billionth time I heard it, I was ready to hear a little guitar. That being said, hey, we should all write our own Baby Sharks one day.
Would that we could.
Exactly. All right, well, let's check this song out. Here it is, Little Monsters Bedtime by Preschool Rockstar.
When it's a little monster's bedtime, do they run around the house? Do they try to climb out of the bathtub when soap gets in their mouth? When it's a little monster's bedtime, do they start to cry and pout? Do little monster daddies wonder what's the fuss about? Good night, little monsters, it's time to go to sleep. Sweet dreams, little monsters, close your eyes and go to sleep. When it's a little monster's bedtime, do they need another dream? Do they ask for one more story? What do little monsters think? When it's a little monster's bedtime, do they brush their monster teeth? Do little monsters wear pajamas when little monsters sleep? Good night, little monsters, it's time to go to sleep.
And that was Little Monsters Bedtime. All right, next song we're going to talk about. You mentioned the lizard when you were doing your outside classes. Is that what morphed into this song, Little Green Lizard?
It sure is. That is where Little Green Lizard came from.
All right, tell us a little bit more about this one then.
Little Green Lizard is a three chord little wonder song. We When Kevin was trying to help arrange this, he was very frustrated that it was just the same three chords over and over again. And I was wanting it to sort of go towards a Jack Johnson kind of vibe, and finally I had to let go and just say, okay, you do what you want to do with this. So we had a ton of tracks and sent them all to our mixing engineer Roger, and got back this huge surprise. We had no idea he was going to do the guitar effects at the beginning with the swirls and all that, and it was just, oh my gosh, how did this happen? You know, we recorded it all, but man, we didn't expect it. It was really the happiest surprise when we got back the mixed tracks.
The beauty of collaborating with others.
Mm-hmm.
Well, very good. All right, well, we're going to play this one now. Here it is, Little Green Lizard by Preschool Rockstar.
Little green lizard climbing up the wall. Little green lizard so cute and small. Where's he going climbing oh so fast? Look, there's another lizard scurrying past. Little green lizard, 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 little green lizard. Little green lizard climbing up the wall. Little green lizard so cute and small. Where's he going climbing up that tree? Look, there's another lizard staring at me. Little green lizard, 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 little green lizard. Little green lizard climbing up the wall. Little green lizard so cute and small. Where's he going climbing oh so fast? Hey, look, there's another lizard scurrying past. Little green lizard, 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 little green lizard. Sometimes lizards are green or brown, depending on if they wanna be found. Can you see that lizard in that tree? He's looking at you, looking right at me. Little green lizard, little green lizard, oh, little green lizard, little green lizard, oh, little green lizard, little green lizard, oh, little green lizard, little green lizard, oh.
And that was Little Green Lizard. All right, next song we're going to talk about is called Tiny Humans, Big World. Tell us about this one.
So, Tiny Humans Big World is our title track that came to be about 5 days before we sent it to be mastered. We realized, hey, we don't have a title track. Maybe we should do that. So, it really just fell into place, and was the most collaborative song between Kevin and I on the album. Usually it was me writing songs for class and then coming in and saying, hey, I want this garbage truck to sound like Green Day, and that sort of thing. And then he took it from there. But Tiny Humans Big World, we did together. He programmed every bit of that, Baba O'Reilly at the beginning.
Love that opening.
Every little note he programmed in there, to pay homage to the great The Who. And getting the kids in was absolutely my favorite part of the whole thing.
It's a good touch.
They just really, I didn't know they were going to bring it the way they brought it. And there was one little girl who I'm not sure I had ever heard her say more than 2 words. I know she loves music classes. I know that she is there with me every time I am in the room, but she just is not a talker, right? And she's on there and she just belted out what she was going to be. And I cried. I mean, the first few weeks I heard it, I could not help myself, but just shed some happy tears because it was so wonderful to hear her and hear all of those kids with their dreams of being a kitty cat and everything else they wanted to be. So that song's really special to me to have all of my little friends on there.
Very good. As I was previewing that one and started with the Baba O'Reilly part, I'm like, where is she going with this one? I didn't know if I was about to launch into a 9-minute Kindie song or.
No, just a little wink and a nod.
Yeah, very good. All right, well, let's check this one out. Here it is, Tiny Humans, Big World by Preschool Rockstar.
I wanna climb to the top of the shelf, reach my books all by myself. I wanna drive a race car, go real fast and go so far. I wanna jump in the deep end, show you how far I can swim. I wanna fly an airplane and take off into the sky. Tiny humans in a big world. Tiny humans in a big, big world. Tiny humans in a big world. Tiny humans in a big, 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 big world. I wanna be an animal vet and take care of all the pets. I wanna be an architect, see how high my tower gets. I wanna be the president, one that shows all people respect. I wanna be a teacher too, show the kids what they can do. Tiny humans in a big world. Tiny humans in a big, big world. Tiny humans in a big world. Tiny humans in a big, 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 big world.
I want to be a kitty cat. I want to be a baseball player. I want to be a ballerina. I want to be a dentist. And no one can talk me out. I want to be lazy. I want to be a dragon. I want to be a musician. Whitney wants to be a hairdresser. I want to be a mermaid. I want to be a dancer. I want to be a race car driver.
Tiny humans
And that was Tiny Humans Big World, the album of the same name. Marty, let everybody know where they can stream, purchase, and download that album and how they can find and connect with you.
Absolutely. Well, you can find us always at our website, preschoolrockstar.com. On Instagram, we're Preschool Rockstars with an S, Facebook Preschool Rockstar, YouTube Preschool Rockstar, and Spotify, Apple, anywhere you stream, you can find us. But if you want some vinyl, you can pick up a vinyl copy by going to our website and ordering it there. We'll ship it out to you, and we'd love to get that vinyl to you and out of my dining room.
Very cool. Well, Marty, what is the next big thing coming up for Preschool Rockstar?
Well, the very next big thing is getting the word out. That is my main goal over the summer. I'm going to really try and ramp up our social media and get the word out that we have this album that we really love and want to share with any and everybody that will hear it. We have already started on the next album and hope to have that out by the end of the year. And after that, it's going to be figure out the magical world of booking yourself.
Very good. Well, Marty, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. Best of luck to you and the album. Preschool Rockstar is the name. Tiny Humans Big World is the album. Thank you so much for coming on the show, and I look forward to talking to you again soon.
Thank you, Patrick. It was my pleasure. Really a good time. Thank you.
Yeah, take care.